Welcome in to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks for being here. It's time for our weekly rookie stock watch. We're taking a look at the performances of the Jaguars 2022 rookie class, plus Travis Etienne, a 2021 first-round pick, who is a rookie for all intents and purposes after not playing during 2021 with the Liz Frank injury. We're taking a look at how they performed against the Eagles in a Week 4 loss, disappointing loss in Philadelphia, but want to check in on these rookies, look at how they're doing. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, follow Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you want to support the channel further, you can become a channel member, or you can go check out GenJag.com, pick up some gear. We've got links in the description below. Got to start it off with first overall pick, Trayvon Walker, outside linebacker for the Jaguars. Probably the least exciting performance we've seen from Trayvon so far. By no means was he one of the real reasons that the Jaguars defense struggled, giving up 29 points and over 200 yards on the ground. He did have 5 tackles. 3 of those were stops right around the line of scrimmage, so that was certainly useful against the run. I thought he set the edge pretty decently. Had 5 coverage drops, was not targeted in any of those, so nothing glaring there. The key here was against the pass, trying to rush the passer. He could not do anything against Lane Johnson, who is probably the best right tackle in the game right now. So you understand it happens with rookies going up against superstar players, right? He only created 1 pressure on 21 total pass rush snaps. It just looked like he was running a lot of power, trying to go straight through Lane Johnson, and Lane Johnson wasn't really having it. It looked like they were kind of attempting to just squeeze the pocket instead of rush upfield and allow Jalen Hurts to break contain. I think that was the strategy there. I'm not 100% positive, but it looked like from both edges they were just trying to squeeze the pocket by rushing through the offensive tackles instead of by rushing around them, which would give Jalen Hurts more rushing lanes. Looked like that was the strategy to me. Did not work very well against Jalen Hurts in terms of actually getting him on the ground and in terms of creating a ton of pressure. But the Eagles didn't throw the ball a whole lot. Like I said, Trayvon Walker only had 21 pass rush snaps. And Jalen Hurts only threw the ball 25 times, 27 dropbacks. So not an ideal game when it comes to rushing the passer because the Eagles are content to run the ball. They're content to run this read option stuff with Jalen Hurts, with Miles Sanders, and I don't blame them. It was a sloppy, nasty football game, and the Jaguars' defense, primarily on the second level, really struggled to key on some of those things. I thought Trayvon Walker played fine. Not a game to write home about, certainly from a pass rush standpoint, but didn't get a ton of opportunities, was playing against an all-pro player in Lane Johnson, so nothing to worry about from Trayvon Walker. But it's just a game where you wish you could have seen a little bit more. Sure, you will be able to see more as Trayvon Walker moves forward throughout his rookie season. As you've seen from him in the prior 3 games, he's had at least some big flashes of game-changing potential and game-changing moments. Looking at Devin Lloyd, I would say this was his worst game so far, specifically against the run. It comes down to communication and gap discipline and integrity at the second level, in my opinion. Again, asking this defense to hold up when the offense couldn't do a thing with the ball. They couldn't stop turning the ball over. They couldn't sustain drives. It was really difficult for this defense to stay in this one and hang tough. But to me, this was Devin Lloyd's worst game. It looked like when Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, when Jalen Hurts was at that mesh point, handing Miles Sanders the football or pulling it back and taking it himself, it just looked like the linebackers and the secondary players just did not quite look comfortable. It looked like Jalen Hurts kind of had a gravity well around him. Like players just had to watch Jalen Hurts. And then they would get gashed by Miles Sanders a little bit because they were so focused on stopping Jalen Hurts. And the communication, there's multiple plays like this, but one that stands out in my mind, Devin Lloyd, Rayshon Jenkins, they're both on the right side of the field, defensive right side, close to the middle. Jalen Hurts has the ball in Miles Sanders' stomach there at the mesh point, about to hand off, and it looks like both players are just reading Jalen. Both players are just waiting on Jalen to tuck it and run. He hands it to Miles Sanders. Both players are outside of the B gap, and Miles Sanders just takes off. And if Devin Lloyd had realized that Rayshon Jenkins was on the outside, Devin Lloyd could have stayed where he was supposed to be, stayed home. He would have been right there to make the play, but he wasn't there to make the play because both players drifted outside following Jalen Hurts instead of being disciplined, and you end up with a big play for Miles Sanders. All it took was Rayshon and Devin communicating and knowing where each other are on that play and staying disciplined, and that's a win for the defense. Instead, it ends up being a chunk play for the offense. Picks up 10, 15 yards on that one. So we've got Murray barking in the background here. But I think Devin Lloyd, I think this was his worst contest. I think it was a great learning experience for him. He's been one of the best players on the Jaguars defense so far this year. He was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Month for a reason. He's playing really good football, but this was a tough one, a tough running game to prepare for, a tough offense to prepare for, and I think that Devin Lloyd will be better for it. This is clearly a very talented young football player. I think he's going to have some bright moments in the coming games and weeks. Luke Fortner, Jaguars starting center, 65th overall pick. Everyone wants to talk about the Jordan Davis play. And yeah, that was something else by Jordan Davis. He does that to someone seemingly once a week at this point. But outside of that, Luke Fortner had himself a good day against a really talented defensive front. He continues to trend in the right direction. I thought he only allowed one quarterback pressure. He also was able to do his normal stuff in the run game, generally speaking, creating some push up front, working well to the second level. Luke Fortner is certainly a player, as I mentioned, who is trending in the right direction. Chad Muma, not much to speak of. The 70th overall pick, inside or off-ball linebacker for the Jaguars. He's just not able to get on the field again because of Devin Lloyd, because of Foye Oluokun. Chad Muma is kind of the odd man out there. 2 defensive snaps, nothing to speak of. His usual special teams work, which was impressive as usual. We're waiting to be able to see more from Chad Muma at this point. That's pretty much where we're at. Everything we've seen from him has been impressive. I do really appreciate his willingness to go out there and be a core special teamer and try to get the job done there for the Jaguars, try to help them win the game in that way. But it is unfortunate that you're not able to see him much on defense. Travis Etienne is the final rookie we're going to look at here because Snoop Connor, Gregory Jr., Buster Brown have not been active. But Travis Etienne, he had 8 carries for 32 yards. Again, nothing crazy there, long of 11. But I think the Jaguars need to run the ball more. I know that Doug Peterson is going to throw the ball to score points. He's going to run the ball when the Jaguars have the lead. The Jaguars did not hold on to their lead for very long last week, but on the sample size of Travis Etienne that we did get in this game, I think it was his first or second best game running the ball so far, and I think he's looked good running the ball every week outside of the fumble in week 1, but again, 8 carries, 32 yards. He had 21 yards after contact, 2.63 yards per contact per attempt there. Forced several missed tackles. I think he's starting to read the field better. I think he's showing his speed and quickness on every single play. You're seeing some contact balance, the ability to get low, take some hits, and bounce off them and keep rolling up field. And I think he's continuing to show that he can finish runs off a little bit better than you saw in the first couple weeks. So I'm very encouraged by what we're seeing from Travis Etienne. Just got to be able to get this guy the ball. Only 1 catch this week. Didn't do anything with it. They were right on him there. But I think Travis Etienne, he's someone that you really just need to be able to focus on getting him the football no matter what the game situation is. Kind of like Jamal Agnew, these are players that you need to have things drawn up for each and every week because they have the ability to hit the home run. And the Jaguars need to do that at a higher clip moving forward. But Travis Etienne, very encouraged by what I've seen from him so far. Looks like he could be well worth the first-round pick if the Jaguars would just continue to use this young man's talents for them. But that is going to do it. Stay tuned for more Duval. Follow me on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar, at Generation Jag. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. You can become a channel member as well. You can also check out genjag.com for all of the latest Jaguars news and analysis and Duval gear. Go check it out. Thanks, Duval.